Alright, so I have the last of the new Hasbro exclusives, that being this new 2-pack here with Circle Ghost 460 Low Rush and Hack Viking 455 Orb. I will be referring to these with cartoon style names for the rest of the video, so GhostCircle and VikingHack, that's just how I do things, but anyway. There's the back of the packaging as well, so anyway, I'll go ahead and get this opened up. Alright, so first up here we have the instructions, as I always show for whatever reason. So first up, looking at GhostCircle, we have 460, which, older ratchet, but this did come on the original one from the Random Booster Volume 5 green GhostCircle recolor, so makes sense. Though we do have one alteration. Rather than Hexa, we now have Low Rush, so Rush, you got the 10 gears, it's lower high burst resistance there, so swapping out Hexa for Low Rush is interesting. They're both really good bits. I personally don't care about meta stuff, but I know a lot of people do, so well, you're still getting a meta part here. Then we have the blade, GhostCircle, very small, round, light blade. This recolor does look really nice though, so I guess that's cool. Moving on to VikingHack. First up we have the bit, which is Orb. The small orb there, decent for like stamina defense stuff in this somewhat darker blue, so cool. For the ratchet we have 455, a simple ratchet. It's a very dark blue, almost kind of gray, so there's that. And for the blade, VikingHack, which looks pretty cool actually. A lot of extra detailing here on the metal. New motif there, I like the kind of blue here with the light blue underneath, so yeah, and this is of course based on Hell's Hammer. This part isn't as steep, but then these like dented parts here are like a little bit more pronounced, so that's kind of how they altered the blade. Alright, let's go ahead and do the part weights. Starting with GhostCircle, first up, Low Rush 1.92 grams, 460 6.3 grams, and of course GhostCircle being extremely light at 26.67, and then the full combo here 34.9. That is less than the vast majority of blades in Beyblade X there. Moving on to Viking, first up Orb, 2 grams even, 455, 4.72 grams. For the blade, let's actually go ahead and start off with Hell's Hammer. So first up, that is 33.23 grams. How does VikingHack compare? 32.77, bit lighter, but not like completely terrible at least. And the full combo here is 39.5 grams, so I mean that's pretty light actually. So I guess both bays in this pack are light. Alright, let's start putting these bays together now. First up, GhostCircle, which to me is just kind of the extra bay in this pack, but I know for a lot of people will be the main selling point because, you know, Low Rush, so anyway. Here it is though, GhostCircle 460 Low Rush. It does look very cool. I like the greens here. I did not get the original version of this since I don't really buy the extra random booster pulls usually, so cool blade to have in my collection though. Parts are nice, but yeah, cool. And then of course the reason I bought this pack, let's go and take a look at VikingHack here. And there it is, VikingHack 455 Orb. Very blue, which, I mean, it works well, so that's fine, but yeah. And I guess doing a comparison here to Hell's Hammer, it is oriented a bit differently, which I do like actually. And then the side profile, you can kind of see what I was talking about with the shift in metal. Yeah, here's the underneath, but yeah, decent variant, I'd say. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about VikingHack a little bit, because of course it is the new bay in this set, And of course I have to do my ratings for anything new. So first up, aesthetically, this thing's pretty solid. I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I actually like this thing a fair amount. I like the blues they used here. Again, you have quite a few different blues, but I think they all do work together fairly well. I think they did a decent job at shifting it from Hell's Hammer. A lot of this extra like texturing up here I think stands out quite a bit, so I think they did a good job. It looks pretty cool. Conceptually, I am conflicted. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, it's okay. Again, decent job at shifting the blade a bit. It does function a bit differently now, but the parts on this thing are a bit questionable. So I always like when these variant blades do have different parts than the original. Change the identity of the blade. However, I don't think using a Hell's Hammer variant for stamina was ideal. Literally any other Hell's Bay I would disagree with this, but Hell's Hammer in particular, probably not the Hell's Bay you want for stamina. If they could have used a different balance bit that really changed up how it performed, that'd be fine. I think they really should have gone in the route of making this like a defense or an attack type. Literally just switch the parts around between these two bays. I think GhostCircle 455 Orb would have made more sense if they recolored it properly. We could have had VikingHack 460 Low Rush. That would have been great actually, but as is, I think stamina was a bit of an awkward case for this thing. Would have liked to see this on something with high burst resistance. Or at least, like, again, for defense, maybe Wedge. But because I always do talk about how I want them to change up the sort of typing or identity of these bays, I don't want to be too harsh, because they at least did that here, and I will gladly take a stamina version of this bay than just getting 370 Hexa again. So I'm at least fine with it. But yeah, overall, this 2-pack is pretty interesting, honestly. It's a very weird 2-pack. I like it. It's just weird. Again, for competitive people, I'm sure you're going to want this for Low Rush. And then for collection, I believe this green GhostCircle is like really expensive. So as long as you aren't trying to get that exact Hexa, maybe off the blade, this is a good way to get it. And yeah, also VikingHack, it is a new variant, so again, for collection, that's why I got it. Probably 2-pack I'd recommend, but again, you might have some trouble finding it though, because a lot of people will want this for Low Rush, so I guess just be mindful of that. And if you're interested in it, I'd say to probably pick it up if you find it, because again, I can see this getting scalped for Low Rush. But anyway, that's really all for this video, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.